If you want to change, you have to change. You have to change whatever it is that you did in the past that got you where you are, where you're saying, I want to change. Well, it is time. But you know what? The good thing is we are all works in progress. And if you're not progressing, then you're not improving. And that's why you're here. And inside, don't we all just want to progress and improve and to feel better? Of course we do. All right, then, if that resonates with you, you're in the right place today. Hi, I'm Jan. This is 316 Yoga. This is your yoga from home. That's the best part. You don't have to go anywhere. And here in Colorado, it is snowing, and it's going to snow even more. So it's nice to do your yoga from home. It's a 1 hour long practice. We practice every single day. Every day is different. Every day our practices are different. It is live from start to finish, 1 hour long. Stick around for the whole thing or stick around for just 10 minutes. Make it work for you. Today's practice is our flexibility and mobility practice. Yoga for life. It's what you got to do to keep yourself mobile and living the life that you want to be living. It's mostly seated. We're mostly down on the mat. But you choose. We've got a few poses where we're going to stand, and you can take those same poses on the ground. It's up to you. You choose. I mean, don't you choose everything you do? Make some good choices. Do your yoga. We are live every single day on Facebook and YouTube. Join us. Check us out. Big thing, the bottom of the screen says, do what's right for your body. Modify. That means modify. Change stuff. Don't do it if it hurts. Don't do it if you're feeling pain. If you're feeling pain, back out of it. Don't do it. You don't want to hurt yourself. You want to come back and enjoy and feel good. And we have a tangible measure of how much better you're going to feel at the end of this hour. Modify, use props, don't do a pose, just chill. Breathe through it and make it work. All right, so words to think about today is actually 2 words. It's let go. Just let go. Let go of negative thoughts because you got them. And they tend to invade and just kind of take over. Let go of the negative thoughts. Let go of whatever is holding you back. What are the things that limit you? What's restricting you? What's keeping you from doing? Turn over a new leaf and just start. All right, you're going to need some props today. And if you don't have props, that's okay. I've got some modifications for you. Piper's lying on my props, so I'll start with my favorite prop, an eye shade or a little hand towel. You've got that around. These are nice to slip under your knees in some poses or to use for our final Shavasana pose. Best pose of the practice, perhaps the most important pose. Don't run out on that one. 2 yoga blocks. You'll want to have those. We use those often. Think of the blocks as bringing the ground up to you. All right, if you don't have the blocks, that's okay. Grab a towel and roll it up kind of tight, burrito style. Hold on to that. And a strap. We use a yoga strap. Piper's right on my strap. We use a strap every day. Not every day, most days. Today we're going to use it. If you don't have a yoga strap, you can usually buy the blocks and the straps together in a package. If you don't have that, grab a belt to your bathrobe. That'll work too. So those are the props you want to use. Let's get started. Like I said, today we're mostly on the ground. She's really on the ground, isn't she? I want to give a big shout out and a hello to our new first-time friends and especially our group at the USAFA Total Body Wellness Group. You guys got this? Come on, let's do it. All right, so come on down to seated. As you come on down, you're going to use your legs nice and long. Use your legs. Send them long. Send them as long as is comfortable for you. Hey, Piper, how about getting in your bed? Move, Piper. Come on. Piper, get in your bed. All right, or maybe not. All right, legs are long. All right, you're seated here. Hold on, close your eyes, and lock in a stress number. How are you feeling in your body right now? What's going on? What's going on in your body? How do you feel? What's the stress? Lock it in on a scale of, 1 to 5, 1 to 10. How do you feel right now? Let's work on that. All right, legs are long. A little bend in your knees might feel good. Let your toes come up toward the sky. And all we're going to do is we're just going to move our toes and our ankles. So squeeze and scrunch your toes toward the sole of your foot. And then spread your toes nice and wide. Spread them wide. Take a deep breath in. And a deep sighing breath out. Maybe you got your eyes closed. That feels good. Keep wiggling your toes. Just move them. Just start. Just start. You can do this pose, right? See where you end up. Just one pose after another and just enjoy. All right, so moving your toes, wiggling them, squeeze them tightly to your sole of your foot and squeeze your hands too. Squeeze your fingers hard into your palms. Lengthen up through the crown of your head. Feel how that tension is everywhere in your body, right? You feel the squeezed hands up the forearms, up into the shoulders, even up into the neck. Same with the toes. You feel it all the way up your legs into your hips. Now release. Let it all go. Oh, we are so in control. Take that control. Make it work for you. All right, start to circle your ankles in one direction. Just kind of trust your body. It's going to tell you what you need to do. You are your own best teacher. I'm just here to hold the space for you on the mat and to show you some variations of poses. All right, so go ahead, twist your ankles in the other direction. Breathe. Take big breaths in through your nose and big sighing breaths out through your mouth. All right, still your feet. Just get comfortable. Kind of wiggle your bottom. Be comfortable. Now lift your arms up to the sky. Lift your arms up nice and high. This is your extended mountain arms. Lift. Take a big breath in. And as you exhale, soften in your shoulders. And you can have a little bend in your elbows if that feels better, or even a bend in your knees if that feels good. Lengthen up. Let it go. All right, let's bend side to side. Place one hand down on the mat, lift the other arm up high to the sky, and then that arm that's extended, let it reach to the opposite side of the room. Now you got a lever here in your right arm. Bend your elbow or not. You decide how far you want to take this. Just play with it a little bit. No right or wrong, you just don't want to hurt. Keep both bottom cheeks down on your mat. Just stretch it out. Reach through those extended fingers. Chin away from the chest, your top shoulder, bring it back. That's a big stretch, isn't it? We'll do this even more in a while when we do either our banana asana or half crescent moon. All right, come on back up slowly to center. Place the opposite hand down on the ground. Lift the opposite arm up to the sky. Just breathe here for a moment. Be happy with what you got. Little bend in the elbows, fine. Nobody's judging you. Don't judge yourself. All right. Let that extended arm reach to the opposite side of the room. And you got the leverage, you got the ability to bend that elbow on the foundational arm a little bit more. Chin away from the chest, top shoulder back, maybe the eyes are closed. As you just get into what you're feeling. Big breath in, big breath out, both bottom cheeks down, remember that. And then slowly, slowly, slowly bring it back up to center. Extend both arms nice and high. Big breath in, big breath out. As you exhale, hollow out your belly. What does that mean? Bring your belly button back towards your spine. Reach your arms nice and far forward, toes up toward the sky. Reach down. Capture what you can capture. Maybe it's your ankles, your calves, your thighs. Don't worry about it. You take it to where is right for you today. And as you come back to your practice every single day, you will get more flexible, more mobile. Inhale, lengthen up through the crown of your head. Your kind of belly comes off your knees and thighs a little bit. And then hinge forward a little bit more. Let it all go. Belly's hollowed out. Inhale, come on back up. Shoulders over your hips. Take your hands like a kickstand. Place them back by your hips onto the ground and lift your chest up to the sky. Think of your heart opening up to the sky. It is the month of love after all, right? Breathe. Finish up. Come back to a comfortable seated position with your shoulders over your hips and just take a twist. Both hands can either come to the ground or one hand can come to the outside of your thigh. The other hand can rest on the foundation of the earth and then twist to one side or the other. I'm looking over my right shoulder. My right hand is a kickstand. My left hand is holding on to the outer right thigh. Twist. Let it go. And let your breath deepen the twist. As you inhale, think of your spine lengthening up. And as you exhale, it's like a washcloth. You can twist a little deeper. Slowly come back to center, and we'll do it all again on the other side. Lengthen up at the center just for a moment. Exhale, settle in, shoulders are soft. Breathe. Make that audible sound when you breathe out. Now the left hand is going to go behind my bottom like a kickstand. I'm going to turn toward the left, look over my left shoulder, take my right hand, place it on the outside of my left thigh. You get it. Twist, turn. Inhale, lengthen up through the crown of your head. Exhale, twist a little deeper. You are in control of this twist. Jerky movements and twists that are unexpected are what tweak our back, what hurt our back. So you are in control here. Using your breath, take the twist a little deeper. And then finish. Slowly is the operative word. Come back to the midline of your body. Lengthen up. soften up as you breathe out and let the shoulders rest. Lift your arms up high to the sky. Maybe look up to your fingers. Exhale, hinge forward. Reach toward your feet. Maybe it's not very close, but that's all right. Reach, just reach, reach. Maybe reach down, capture your feet, hugging your elbows in towards your knees. Bring your gaze toward your knees, fold. Inhale, come on back up, shoulders over your hips. All right, take your hands, bend your elbows this time. Bring your fingers lightly to your temples and send your elbows to the back of the room. Feel the opening through your chest. Big breath in. Big breath out. How does it feel? Squeeze the elbows to the back of the room. Sigh it out, let it go. We do a pose quite often in a standing position called You Will Look Taller, but let's just do the same pose here with just our arms. All right, so think of the word you. Bring your body, your arms into like a letter Y shape. So just spread them open wide, like YMCA, right? Remember that song? You will look taller. Send the backs of your hands more to the back of the room, chest is lifted. Y for the word you. Now we're going to go to the word will. Let's bring our elbows down, hugging, thinking of squeezing those muscles along your spine. Elbows down toward the earth, palms facing forward. Squeeze your elbows down. Strengthen your back, strengthen your upper back. Such a good pose for our posture. We're going to finish up in a pose today called fish pose. And in fish pose, that's really good for your standing posture. So many of us have not so good standing posture, especially with the advent of phones and our heads are tucked down. No. We got to counter that. And we'll counter that with this pose and with fish. All right, there's your letter W for you will. Now let's say look. Bring your forearms parallel to the earth, hugging your elbows in. There's your 2 L's, forward and backward for the word look. Breathe. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through your mouth audibly. Now let's make our body, our arms look like the big letter T. T out your arms, pulse the backs of your hands to the back of the room. Doesn't that feel nice? Breathe. We'll do this again in a standing posture or in a reclined posture. It'll be your choice. Let's run through it one more time. A big letter Y in the arms. Remember, press the backs of the hands to the back of the room. You can have a little bend in your elbows if that's the shape of your letter Y. No problem. Big W. Elbows down, backs of the hands are pressed. Squeeze, feel the strength in your mid-back here. 2 L's, forward and backward, elbows hugged in. T out the arms, T for taller, let it go. Pulse it back. All right, let's take this big T and let's give ourselves a big hug. Bring your right arm on top, left arm on the bottom. Work your palms, work your hands towards your spine. Think of each set, all 10 fingers working towards your spine. Nice tight hug. Now soften in your shoulders. Soften your shoulders to the sides of the room. Nice tight squeeze. This should feel really tight. Nice tight hug. We all need those, right? All right, open up your arms, tee them out again. You've done this before. Backs of the hands, press them as far back to the back of the room as is comfortable. Now let's hug ourselves with the other arm on top, the left arm on top. Work your fingers towards your spine. Nice tight hug here. Elbows kind of cross or stack. Soften in the shoulders, then expand the shoulders to the side of the room. Nice big hug. Breathe. Now, release your arms. Let's come into a child's pose. This is where we get into our head. How do you feel already? Stress number, what was it? I bet it's coming down. All right, child's pose. Maybe grab your 2 blocks. If you don't have blocks, you could use your towel. I'll take the towel today because I know you all at least have a towel, right? All right, let's come down to a child's pose. This is a very common pose in most yoga practices. Bring your knees together to touch and your big toes touching too. Press the tops of your feet down into your mat and sink your hips back toward your heels. Arms down by your sides. You can use your towel or a block to bring the ground up to you. That's the best way to think of a towel or the blocks. They're a nice prop that brings the ground up to you to make a pose more accessible. All right, arms down by your sides, fingers reaching toward the bottom of your mat. Shoulders are soft and away from your ears. You're resting your head on either your prop or directly onto the earth. This is a classic child's pose. I'm going to now take a wide-legged child's pose. You can stay in classic if you like. It's your choice. I'm going to spread my knees wide, big toes touch, hips back to the heels, and I'm going to reach my arms forward. I could use the block or the towel underneath my forehead here. I could slip the block or the towel up to the top of my mat, and I could rest my hands on the towel or the blocks. That helps me get more into my shoulders. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Sigh it out, let it go, no stress here. This is a no stress zone. This is a feel good zone. All right, so after you've taken a few deep breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth, letting it all go. Let's really settle into this pose and engage what's called our Ujjayi Pranayama breath. To do that, close your lips and breathe in and out of your nose. If this just doesn't feel right for you, don't do it. Just take deep breaths and be mindful of your breath. Shallow breaths would indicate that you're working too hard and you're just stressed out. You don't want to be that way. Adjust the pose so you can take deep breaths. So what's going on in this pose? Your ankles are getting a nice stretch and you're not even really realizing it because the tops of your feet are on your mat and they're getting a good stretch. We'll do a counter stretch to that in a few moments. Your knees, oh, what a wake-up call for your knees. A nice deep knee bend, nice stretch in the quads, nice lengthening through your spine. If your arms are extended, your shoulder rotation is improving because you are lengthening here. Lengthen to strengthen. Take a deep breath in. And a deep breath out. Try to do it in and out of your nose if that is possible. This is a child's pose. You can come back to this pose anytime you want, or if you want, you can totally stay in this pose. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to press on out of this pose. So I'm going to bring my hands and my wrists underneath my shoulders. I'm going to come out of my hips, bringing my knees underneath my hips, and I'm going to come into what's called a neutral tabletop. In this neutral tabletop position, it may be neutral, but there's some strength here. I'm going to push my hands into the mat. Fingers are spread. Fingers are slightly gripping like a little gecko, pressing into the thumb and the pointer finger the most, gripping the mat. Tops of the feet, they're pressed into the mat too. Boy, you can feel your core engage here. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Let it go. From this neutral tabletop, let's do some cat-cows. Cat-cow, two complementary poses. Tuck your chin to your chest as you exhale, and tuck your tailbone under. So you're arching your back up to the sky like a Halloween cat. Breathe, push into the earth with not only your hands, but your feet too. Back is arched high to the sky. As you exhale, let your tailbone and the crown of your head come up. So if you think of your spine shaped like the letter C, you're doing a forward-facing C, maybe when you do cat, and then you're flipping the C backwards when you do cow. So crown of the head, tucks, chin to the chest, tailbone under for cat, arched back. Inhale, cow, tailbone lifts, crown of the head lifts. That's your cat-cow. Do a couple of these, married to your breath. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow. Let's take another little variation of this pose. Come back to your neutral tabletop. You know that one. We talked about that a minute ago. Extend your right leg long. Draw your toes toward your shin. Plant the ball of the right foot onto your mat. Oh, I feel the stretch already. It's good. All right, press the foot into the mat. Press the hands into the mat. Feel the big, good stretch up the backside of the right leg. Lift the straight right leg up. Cross the right leg over the midline of the body. Hug high in the upper inner thighs. Place the ball of the right foot down on the left side of the body. Press into your hands equally. Look over your left shoulder, back towards your foot, your knee, your bottom, whatever you can see. Enjoy this leg extension in your cat pose. So you're getting a nice lateral flexion, sideways movement of your spine. Bring the leg back. Bring the leg back. Bring it all the way up to about hip height or whatever is comfortable for you on its natural right side. Lift your right arm up, up, up to the sky. Look up towards your hands. Right foot is planted. Lift and reach. Right hand comes down. Right knee meets left. Guess what? We get to do it again because we got another side to do. Extend your left leg long. Plant the ball of the left foot on the mat. Press equally hard into your hands. Press the ball of the foot into the mat and feel the goodness of that stretch. Breathe. Deep breath in, deep breath out. When you're ready, lift the left leg up. Cross the straight left leg across the midline of the body. Place the top of the left foot down on the right side. Press into the earth. Look over your right shoulder, back to your foot, your ankle, your knee, or your bottom. Breathe. Feel the goodness up the left side of your body. And when you're ready, sweep the left foot around. Sweep it around to however high you can take it. Maybe bring it to about hip height. Plant the sole of the foot. Lift the left arm up, up, up. Look up, up, up. Breathe. You're doing it. This is excellent. Breathe. Look up. And when you're ready, finish. Hand comes down. Left knee meets right. Let's do a pose called bird dog pose after one more cat cow. You know this pose now. Take it. Cat pose. Cow pose. Even everything out, bringing everything back to the midline of your body. Then come back to your neutral tabletop position. You've got your towel or your block at the top of your mat. You can use this for balance. Now what we're going to do is in bird dog pose, we're going to lift the right leg up. Lift the right leg up, bringing the knee to about hip height. Maybe you stay right here. Or maybe you extend the right leg long, driving the heel to the back of the room. Oh, I feel the compression of my low back, the strengthening of my low back. Press into the earth. Now add in the opposite arm, the left arm, if you like. You can reach the left arm forward, fingers spread wide, thumb up like a hitchhiker. The block is here at the top of the mat. You could hold on to it. You decide. Reach through your fingertips, reach through your heel, find length in your spine. Little variation, if you want, tuck the right knee and the left elbow underneath your navel. Have them touch, and then reach. Touch, and then reach. You don't have to touch and reach. You can practice your lengthening and strengthening. When you're done, left hand down, right knee down. Other side, another opportunity to succeed. Left leg lifts. Maybe you hold it right here today. Maybe this is the place where you are meant to be. Dial the left hip down so both hips are equidistant to your mat. Maybe you stay right here. I'm going to extend the left leg, drawing the toes toward the shin so the heel is really going to the back wall. Push hard into the earth. My gaze is between my two thumbs. I'm going to extend my right arm long. Fingers spread wide, thumb up, reach, stretch, find length. Lengthen to strengthen. Push into the earth. Even the top of that right foot, push it into the mat. And if you like, a couple elbows to knees. Stretch, reach. Maybe you just bend them a little bit and they don't quite reach. No big deal. Lengthen again. And get back in the game. Try, try, try. That's how you succeed. You got to try. Repeat it over and over again and again and again. And when you're ready, let's finish. Hand and knee come down. You're back into a neutral tabletop. Cat cow, even it out. You're an expert at this pose now. Tuck your chin to your chest, tailbone under. Inhale, cow, tailbone and crown of the head lift. Find your two blocks or your towels, take them to the top of the mat, slip on down to your belly, and let's work on our low back. All right, we're gonna do Sphinx pose. I'm gonna take the two blocks and place them on the mat. If you don't have the blocks, remember you always got your towel. I'm gonna place the forearms onto the props and let my hands just kind of hang. Think Sphinx in Egypt. Gaze down your nose, soften in your shoulders. Legs are long, don't worry about, if they're too close or too far apart. You just want to feel this nice little compression of the low back in your Sphinx pose. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. As you exhale, really exhale all the air out of your lungs and feel how that feels in your low back. Really try to exhale even more. Breathe in, breathe out. And if you don't like the prop under your elbows, this is pretty intense. You could come off of your prop and just have your forearms onto your mat. Elbows under shoulders. Breathe. So lots of different ways to take it. Lots of different options and alternatives. And, that's where you decide what's best for you today. And every day is different. Some days you're really feeling it. Other days, not so much. But just show up. That's the key to success. Soften in your glutes, too, as best you can. Big breath in. And big breath out. Let it go. All right, this is your Sphinx pose. Remember it. It's kind of a nice one, isn't it? Feels really good to strengthen your low back. All right, let's finish up. If you used a prop or two, come off of them. Press your hands into your mat. Press into your arms. Come on up to a seal pose if this feels all right for you. Again, soften in your glutes. And then come on up, press on up to standing on your knees. Let's do toes pose. All right, toes pose, ankle flow. This is a great one to strengthen your foundation. So you're standing on your knees. You've got some props. You can use your block, your towel, or nothing at all. So no excuses. All right, I'm going to use the towel. I'm going to place it behind my ankles and have a seat. Oh my goodness, is this intense? All right, the tighter your feet are, the more intense this is going to be. But differentiate between pain and discomfort. If it hurts, come out of it. Just hinge forward. But if it's uncomfortable, just chill out here. Let's put our hands onto either our thighs, hands to prayer center, always a good place to be. Or maybe you bring your arms behind your low back, elbows bent, and you reach your hands for opposite elbows. Soften in the shoulders. Just get into the feet. All right, so hi to Stanley, Sarah, Liz, Esther, Tammy, Marietta, Betty, Kelly, Hubert, Olivia, Roger, Kelly, Tim, Connell. Good to see you guys. All right, just nestle in here. So this is a big pose, big stretch in the feet. If you have plantar fasciitis, this is a great pose to alleviate some of that discomfort. So you're stretching out your feet. You're breaking up the fascia in your feet. The fascia is kind of like that webbing that encompasses your whole body, kind of like spider webbing over the muscles, the tissues, the bones, everything you got. It holds us together. And the fascia in the feet tends to solidify and harden. This helps break it up as you soften in the body. All right, so this is toes pose. Breathe. There's a counter pose to this. It's called an ankle flow. Or it's called an ankle pose, and we're going to take that pose in just a moment. Remember we circled our ankles a little bit ago? So we're going to get back into the ankles because our feet are our foundation. So important to keep our foundation strong to help prevent us from falling. All right, let's finish. Bring your arms back to a natural position, kind of wiggle your fingers. Let's remove the prop if you used it and come on to your tops of your feet. Onto the tops of your feet, sit back towards your heels. If you've got blocks, you can use them to bring the ground up to you as you push into your blocks or push into the ground. Lean back, let your knees lift. All right, so now you're basically balancing on the tops of your feet. So think about the mobility that we're showing our feet right now. We did toes pose, we did ankle pose. We're doing ankle pose. And you're really finding that full range of motion in your feet. So lean on back either into the blocks, the earth, or nothing at all if you want to challenge your balance. See, every practice, you can add to it or subtract from it to just make it different for your body. And it's good to really shake it up. All right, let's come out of this. Come back to a toes pose just for a moment. Stretch it out, soften in the shoulders. One more ankle pose. Come on down to the tops of your feet. Come on back, pop the knees up. Keep them together, but pop them up off the ground. Breathe. Using your hands like we did earlier when we did those side reaches. Maybe bend your elbows a little bit to take it further back. And then let's finish neutral tabletop time. Neutral tabletop, you know this one. Lift your toes up off of your mat. Squeeze and scrunch your toes. Circle the ankles. Tap your feet out onto your mat. All right, now in most of our practices, we do a plank pose, and we're going to do that today too. If you're just beginning, take a variation that works for you. And I set a timer set for 1 minute, just so you can measure and calibrate and calculate your improvement. If you don't want to pay attention to the timer, that's fine You do it your way. All right, so lots of ways to start. If you're new to planking, what you might want to do is just spread your knees a little bit from that neutral tabletop. Walk your hands slightly forward, fingers spread wide, gecko gripping the mat, hinging your weight forward and pressing into the mat and holding right here. It's all good. And the other variations of plank, you know those. Perhaps your legs are long, perhaps you're down on your forearms, perhaps you tuck your toes, press on up to a low plank, a dolphin plank, or you take a high plank. For a high plank, your arms are straight with your fingers spread wide, shoulders over wrists, legs long, feet hip-width distance apart, pushing the earth away. Today I'm going to take a dolphin plank. Get into the position of plank that you like, and let's do it. All right, let's set the timer, which I cannot see. Set the timer, please. And we'll start. 1 minute. All right, so I'm going to pop on up. I'm going to be off on my knees, pressing my forearms into the mat, lengthening up through the crown of my head. Breathe, and you can take breaks whenever you like. We're 15 seconds in. Hold on here. You're strong. Push the earth away. You know, if you always do high plank, shake it up once in a while. Do a different variation of plank. Breathe. Come down to your knees if you need to. We are halfway there. You've done it for 30 seconds. No problem taking a little break here and there. We all need to rest, that's for sure. Take the rests when you need them. Big breath in, big breath out. We've got about 15 seconds to go. Breathe. Embrace your strength. You've got it. Push the earth away. Maybe it's been a while since you've challenged yourself. Try. We've got 5 seconds to go. 3, 2, 1. Done. Come on out of your variation of plank. Plank helps build strength. I'm going to grab a drink of water. Your plank. What did I do with my water? Here it is. The plank helps build strength because everything's engaged, and you want to do that. You know, just show up, just try, and let's get going. All right, let's go. Boat pose, Navasana. All right, so here's what you want to do. Come down to a seated position. Grab your strap or your bathrobe's belt. Bend your knees a little bit. Maybe this is where you stay today. Maybe you bring your hands behind you here, fingers pointing towards your feet. Lean back like you're in a recliner. Maybe lift your feet up, one leg or the other. With the strap, you can place the strap underneath the centers of your feet. Lean on back like you're in that recliner. Now don't have rounded shoulders. Tuck your shoulders back. Lift your chest up to the sky and then pull onto those straps like reins of a horse. Drive your heels to the front of the room and hold in your boat pose. Elbows hugged in. Most important part of this pose. Okay, it sounds corny, but it's important. Turn up the sides of your mouth. Put a smile on your face. Enjoy what you're doing. Enjoy the movement. Enjoy that you can move. Breathe. I have a girlfriend who says, I can't do yoga because I can't touch my toes. Well, if you can't touch your toes today, what's it going to be like in 6 months? What's it going to be like in a year, in 5 years, in 10 years? You've got to move. Move it or lose it, right? Motion is lotion. Breathe. Stay strong. Your core is engaged. And let's finish up in this boat pose with the strap. All right. Now the fun part. Come on down to your back, but take it slowly. Bend the knees, soles of the feet on your mat, maybe hands in prayer. Lean on back nice and slowly. And work on getting there slowly. A lot of times we get to about this point and then it's like, oh, clunk on down. Take it slowly. Roll on down. Come on, you can do it. You're in control. All the way down. Let's do goddess pose. Oh, this is so good. Bend your knees, soles of the feet touch, knees open wide. Elbows, think of goal posting your arms, or like a cactus. Bring your elbows to shoulder height. Elbows are down on the ground. Bring your forearms parallel to each other with the backs of your hands onto your mat. Breathe. Okay, here you are in your reclined goddess pose, and here you may stay. It is up to you. You can stay right here and enjoy this pose. We're going to take some deep breaths in, some deep breaths out, and I'll tell you where we're going next so you can decide. You can stay in this pose, or child's pose. Maybe you're still in child's pose. You can stay right here knowing that you're opening up your hips. Really nice position, a really nice pose for strengthening and for creating greater mobility in your hips, the biggest joints in your body. Nice chest opener. How does this feel? You're working on that range of motion in the shoulders. You decide, adjust your arms to where it feels right. Heart is lifted up to the sky. You can stay right here. The 3 poses that we're going to do standing, if you choose, can also be emulated on the ground. And I'll talk you through the ones on the ground as I do the standing ones. All right. So remember a moment ago when we did our warm-up, we did the You Will Look Taller little sequence? You can do that here on the ground, or you can do it standing. If you'd like to join me in the standing variation of the next 3 poses, send your legs long, bring your arms down by your sides, press on up, and come on up to standing. All right, if you're down on the ground, you can lay totally flat, totally supine. All right, so come on up to a standing if you choose. Let's do You Will Look Taller. You're going to do the same thing if you're down on the ground, but you're just lying on the mat. So let's do You, big letter Y, with your arms. Press the backs of your hands to the back of the room. You know, no pressure today. You're just going through these movements to improve your flexibility and your mobility. There's your big Y. Bring the elbows down. Bring it into a W shape. Keep the hands pressed back. Oh, you feel it in your spine. Breathe. The chest is lifted. 2 L's, forward and backward. Hug the elbows in. Tee out your arms and pulse your hands to the back of the room. If you're lying down, just really push the backs of your hands into the mat. Let's do it again. 3rd time's the charm. So we're on the 2nd round here. You will look. Everybody wants to look. T for taller. So this is improving your posture. It is strengthening your upper back. It's sending your shoulders back and down. One more time, 3rd time. You will look. T for taller, nice pulses. Now close your eyes and let your arms naturally float down by your sides. Palms are in toward your thighs, shoulders are back and down. Think of how your posture looks, nice and straight, no slouched shoulders. Boy, that's one anti-aging thing, isn't it? When somebody walks with their shoulders down, they just look so much older. Send your shoulders back. It almost feels exaggerated, but just send your shoulders back. And this is how you're designed. You want that good alignment. This is how you're designed to stand. And take 5 years off your life, right? Take a deep breath in. And add 5 years to your life. I mean, you want to take 5. You want to look younger is what I'm saying. You'll look younger with your good standing posture. All right, so we've done our You Will Look Taller. Let's do a half crescent moon. If you're down on the ground, it's a banana asana pose. So let's all begin with lifting our arms up to the sky. Palms touching. You could have a little bend in your elbows, kind of that I Dream a Genie look, if that feels better for you. All right, legs are rooted into the ground, or your legs are long on your mat. If you're on your mat, banana asana, you're going to work both legs together to the right corner of your mat. Then you're going to take your fingers, you're going to lengthen up through your fingers and let your fingers fall to the right side of your mat. So you're curving your body like the shape of a banana. All right, so not too huge, but just a little bit of a curve. We're back into the side body. All right, if you're standing, your feet are firmly planted. Keep the weight equally in both feet. Reach the fingertips toward the side of your mat, the right side, or to the right side of your room. Shoulder, bring it back. Chin, bring it away from your chest. Stretch here, lengthen here. You've got it. All right, half crescent moon pose. Slowly bring the hands, the legs back to center. Lengthen up, even out. Let it go, settle in. Work your pose in the opposite direction. Fingers work to the left side of the room or to the top left corner of your mat. Feet, if you're standing, are equally balanced into the mat. You don't take the weight out of the right leg. Keep the feet nice and equal. If you're in a reclined position doing your banana asana, you're going to work your feet to the bottom left corner of your mat. Keep the top shoulder down, chin away from the chest. Stretch it out here. You've got it. Breathe, lengthen. Nice. We're going to have one more pose, and then we'll all meet back together in a pentacle pose. Something to look forward to. Inhale, back up to center. Lengthen up one more time. Let the arms float down by your sides. Same thing, if you're reclined, you can do this pose. We're going to hug the knee in, root into your left foot, bend the right knee, lift the right knee up, up, up towards your chest. Draw the right toes towards your shin. You can use a towel here to hug the right knee in, or interlace your fingers underneath the knee. Hug it in and hold it here. Breathe. We're going to take this knee hug-in pose to a humble warrior. All right, so what you're going to want to do, put a little bend in your left knee. If you're reclined, bend your left knee, having the sole of the foot on the mat. Take your right ankle. If you fall out, no big deal. Get back in. We all fall out. Take the outside of the right knee on top. No, the outside of the right ankle on top of the left knee. And sit like you're seated in a chair. All right, hands to prayer center. If you are reclined, the sole of your foot is on your mat. You've got the right ankle on top of the left thigh. Maybe press your inner right thigh open. If you're standing, sink a little bit lower. If you're standing, remember the other day we talked about putting on your socks while balancing on one foot? Ooh, that's a challenge, but work on it. You can. You're not too old to try. And if you fall out, get back in. All right, so we're in this figure four. We're trying to be in this figure four. We're in this figure four pose, hands to prayer center. Maybe bring your hands behind your low back, interlace your fingers, look down towards your left toes while you let your interlaced fingers work up the back wall. I'm getting back in, not ending on a negative note. All right, breathe. Focus. When you're ready, let's come on out. Hands back to prayer center. Right foot meets left. Come on up to standing. We have the other side to do. If you're reclined, same thing, other side. I'm going to root into my right leg. I'm going to bend the left knee, lifting the knee up. Interlaced fingers hug under the knee. Lift up, lengthen up. Stay strong. Back into those hips. Gotta love it, right? All right, let's bend the left knee, outside of the left knee onto the right thigh. Breathe. Sit low. Hands to prayer center. If you are reclined, remember you can push that inner left thigh open. Sit low. How low can you go? How low do you want to go? Breathe. Focus. Focus is important. Be in the present moment. If you fall out, remember, I set a great example for that. If you fall out, just get back in. Who cares? Everybody fails. If you did it perfectly, go find another yoga class. Go find another yoga class where you can do more challenging things. All right, I'm going to take my hands, interlace them behind my low back. I'm going to gaze down toward my right foot, let my interlaced fingers work up the back wall. Slowly finish. Hands come back to a prayer center position. Left foot meets right on the mat. Come on up to standing. Take a big hallelujah, raising the hands up to the sky. Little back bend. Nice job. Exhale. Fold forward. Let's come on down. Fingers to the mat. And let's bend our knees and come on down and join our other friends on the mat in a pentacle pose. What is pentacle? Pentacle is the best pose to enjoy the journey of getting there. All right, so you're seated on your bottom. Come down slowly with control to a reclined position. Arms lift, legs spread. Your body looks like a capital letter X. Now, some of you, I know this doesn't feel great in your shoulders, so put a bend in your elbows, or don't bring your arms so high. Maybe tee them out. Modify. That's the ticket. And little baby steps, right? Little baby steps get you to where you want to be in this pentacle pose. It's a resetting pose because everything is back to the midline. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Soften, let it be. All right, arms down by your sides, roll over onto your belly. Let's do some more spine strengthening poses. Let's do Superman, all right? So you're on your belly. Send your arms long to the top of your mat. Send your legs long to the bottom of your mat. Chin, nose down on your mat. Superman. Think of Superman flying. Maybe start by lifting one leg, then the other, and maybe alternate. Maybe that's where you are today. Keep your head down. Breathe. Maybe lift both legs up. Feel the strengthening in your low back. Put your legs down. Let's do the arms. Maybe lift one arm or the other, and the other. One up, one down. Maybe lift both. Maybe put it all together and lift all 4 limbs. Think of Superman flying. Breathe, lengthen. You've got this. Sweep your arms nice and long. Sweep them down by the pinky toe. So think of your pinky fingers and your pinky toe coming to meet. Lift out of your chest. Lift a little higher. Breathe and fly here like an airplane. Let's go back to Superman. Let's take Superman to swimmer. Start to kick your legs. Breathe. Sweep your arms back, still your feet. Arms go back, lift up like a big old B-52. Breathe. And then come on down. Come on down. You're now on your belly. Take your hands underneath your collarbones. Press on up. Been here before. Seal pose. Soften in your glutes. Breathe. Press on up to a standing on your knees pose. Standing on your knees. How do you feel? All right. Bring your hands behind your low back. Press your hands into your low back, fingers down. Squeeze your elbows toward your spine. Look up to where the ceiling and the wall meet. Maybe look up, overhead, pushing your hips forward. Take this little, gentle camel pose. Elbows towards your spine. Breathe. Look up. Looking up is always a good place to look. And then finish. Gaze comes back to forward. Have a seat on your heels. Even this pose has a name. It is called your thunderbolt pose. Take a deep breath in. And a deep breath out. Let it go. All right, let's come back down to reclined one more time. All right, find your strap or your belt to your robe or your dog leash or a jump rope or whatever. We're going to come to fully reclined. Take it slowly because you can. Let's get back to the hips. Bend your knees. Place the center of your feet underneath the strap and send your legs high up to the sky. Use the strap. Kind of nice to give it a tight pull. Just pull your legs. Kind of think of your toes coming overhead. Put a little bend in your knees if that feels good. But it does feel good to move, doesn't it? Just do it every day. Move, move, move. All right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to create like a rainbow arc with these strappy legs. First, to begin with, we're going to take our right leg, bring it out of the strap, and place it down on your mat. So your legs look like a big capital letter L for the word love, right? Okay, so hold on to the strap. Open up your left leg to the left side of the room. Pinky edge side of the foot opens up toward the earth. Bring it on up and let the strap go to the other side. You kind of roll onto your right hip here. So do it as much as you can, as much as feels good. Don't push yourself to beyond what feels right. You know, little movements. You got to start somewhere. The fact that you start is the success. All right, and eventually you can work yourself to opening the leg up as wide as is right for you. Everybody's different. Keep the right shoulder down. Don't let the opposite shoulder pop up off the earth when that leg extends. Tee out that arm. That helps keep it down. And maybe even add in your neck and look to the extended arm side. When you want to change, bring the leg on up. Strap into the other hand. Let the big toe side of the foot work toward the earth as you roll onto that hip, keeping the left shoulder down, the other shoulder, arm tees out, and you look in that direction. Big twist. All right, let's finish up. Maybe one more to just kind of solidify it in your memory how you want this to be. Bring the leg on back up. The right leg, which is long, lift it on up. Even that is a core exercise. Bring the right foot to meet the left, readjust, hug them in, and let's do it again. Left leg comes down this time. Right leg is high to the sky. Hold on like reins of a racehorse. Elbows hugged in, and let the foot fall to one side or the other. So a little half circle above your body. Tee out the opposite arm and look in that direction. Keep the foundational straight leg straight on your mat. Open up. Maybe keep the opposite arm teed out and look in the direction of that opposite arm. Nice twist. You know what feels good. You know what feels right. And don't be discouraged. We're our own worst critics. You know, if it's just a matter of moving the foot here today, that's more than if you didn't do it at all. So be good to you. It'll come in time. The trick is time. Just keep with it. It's not about intensity. It's about the dedication and the time. All right, let's finish up. Both feet back up to the sky. Drive the toes toward overhead, elbows hugged in. Release your strap. Bring both legs down at the same time. Let's do fish pose, and then we'll go into final Shavasana. So press on up. If you have your 2 yoga blocks, use those. If you have a towel, use that. You're going to love this pose. All right, so if you're using your yoga blocks, use them, think of them as a letter T. You can have them at their most stable height or bring them a little bit higher. And what you can do is have these blocks like the letter T with a space of about neck width distance between. You're going to rest your shoulders on the horizontal block or the vertical block and your head on the horizontal block. If you're familiar with that, go ahead and do it. I'm going to use the towel today. It's rolled fairly tightly. I'm going to recline on it. I'm going to adjust it and move it so it's between my shoulder blades. My head will come down to the earth. It's a kinder, gentler, softer fish pose. You want to drive your shoulders back, which is essentially the same as letting your chest lift up. So think of how this is for your posture. So good. Arms down by your sides or tee them out slightly if you prefer. You do exactly what you like. Do what feels good. All right, with your legs, same thing. They can stay nice and long. Now be sure your bottom is on the mat. If your bottom is up off the mat, you probably have the block too low. Scoot the block up between the shoulder blades if you're using it. You could bend your knees, and that alleviates some tension on your low back. Remember back to the good old goddess days. Bring your soles of your feet together to touch and open your knees wide. We did this a moment ago. You can come back to it. It's familiar now. Breathe in, breathe out. This is your fish pose. This is a great pose for your standing posture, and it counters that text neck pose that so many people have these days. In our restorative practice, Thursdays and Sundays, we do this pose. In fact, we'll do it tomorrow. We'll do it on a bolster in our restorative practice. Doing this pose on a bolster, we will hold it for a longer period of time, maybe 5 to 7 minutes. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Let it go. All right, you can stay in your fish pose if you want, or let's come out of it for our final Shavasana. Legs go long, back to the starting position. Roll off of your blocks or your towel to one side or the other. No rush, no hurry. You've got this. Then come to fully reclined. Bring your eye shade or your towel with you and cover your eyes with the eye shade. That's really nice because it's a little bit weighted, or with the towel. Either way, it blocks out the light, and that's what you want to do. You want to block out the light. Arms down by your sides, palms face up. Eyes are closed, neck is long, shoulders are soft. You are weighted into the earth. Wiggle your shoulders a little bit closer to your spine. Pinky toes fall toward the edges of your mat. Eyes are closed. Practice a positive affirmation. Maybe it is, I did it. I can do it. I am strong. I am able. I am capable. I can do this. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Soften the area between your eyebrows. Soften your shoulders. Let everything go. Remove the tongue from the roof of your mouth. Unclench your jaws if your teeth are touching. If you can stay longer and enjoy this final Shavasana pose, where the body just remembers what it did in the last hour, and it's saying thank you, and it's the recording in the mind how you can move and how you did this. So next time when you come back, it's more familiar and you can do it again and again and again. If it's time to conclude the hour, start to wiggle your fingers and your toes. We started out with this, wiggling the toes. Circle your wrists and your ankles. Oh, that feels good and natural. On an inhale, reach high overhead. Stretch it out like it's your first good morning stretch of the morning. On the exhale, bend your elbows and your knees and roll into a fetal position onto one side or the other. Low arm is bent. You're going to use that bicep for a pillow for your head. Top shoulder is soft, eyes are closed. Take a deep breath in, savor this moment because it'll never come again. And a deep breath out. As you're ready, slowly with the eyes closed or open, you decide press on up to a comfortable seated position. Sit however feels right for you today. Maybe you like those legs extended like we did earlier. Eyes are closed, hands to prayer center, lengthen up through your spine, which is now strong. Shoulders are back and down. Deep breath in and a deep breath out. Let it go, let it go, let it go, let it go. Blink your eyes open. Ta-da, you did it. 1 hour of yoga, 1 hour. And you succeeded. Okay, here's the deal. We took a stress number in the beginning. Can you even remember what it was? Come back to it. What was that number? And more importantly, what is that number now? Yoga does great things for your body, your mind, and your soul. It's all so important. It gets you set on the right path. Okay, hit the subscribe button, hit the like if you're on YouTube, if you're on Facebook. We have a private group. It's called Friends of 316 Yoga, where I'll post little articles and words of encouragement to keep you going on this journey, this lifelong journey. Don't give up, don't quit. All right, take care of your heart. You got to breathe, you got to exercise, you got to stretch, and you got to move. And don't underestimate the power of little changes. Just lean in and just do it. From all of us to all of you, fruit of the Spirit, love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and the one I'm working on this year, self-control. See you back here tomorrow on your mats. Love you guys. Bye. Hey, you.